Africa, the world's second-largest continent, a land of endless beauty and profound history. But beyond its breathtaking landscapes lies something far deeper, the story of us all. For it was here, in Africa, that the first humans walked the earth. In the Great Rift Valley of East Africa, scientists discovered fossils of our earliest ancestors, Australopithecus afarensis, famously known as Lucy. She lived over 3 million years ago, and from her, humanity's story began. Africa wasn't just a birthplace, it was the laboratory of evolution. From early toolmaking to the control of fire, early Africans laid the foundation for civilization. Over time, humanity spread from Africa to populate the world. Yet Africa remained a cradle of innovation, spirituality, and strength. Long before Europe or Asia built their great empires, Africa had already birthed powerful kingdoms and advanced societies. Egypt, in the northeast, rose along the banks of the Nile, the world's longest river. It was here that pharaohs ruled, pyramids were built, and mathematics, writing, and medicine flourished. But Egypt was not alone. To the south lay the kingdom of Kush, a Nubian empire that rivaled Egypt and even ruled it for nearly a century. Its black pharaohs stood as symbols of African leadership and power. Farther west, the kingdom of Ghana emerged, not the modern country, but an ancient empire rich in gold. It became the heart of the trans-Saharan trade, linking North Africa with the rest of the continent through routes of salt, gold, and knowledge. In East Africa, along the Indian Ocean, flourished the Swahili coast. Cities like Kilwa, Mombasa, and Zanzibar became centers of trade, blending African, Arab, Persian, and Indian cultures. It was a melting pot of languages, architecture, and ideas. And in the south stood Great Zimbabwe, with its majestic stone ruins, evidence of a thriving civilization built on trade, cattle, and craftsmanship. Africa was never a dark continent. It was a land of light, innovation, and diversity. Trade was Africa's lifeblood. Gold from West Africa, salt from the Sahara, ivory from Central Africa, and spices from the East connected the continent to the wider world. Through trade came religion and ideas. Islam spread across North and West Africa through merchants and scholars, transforming cities like Timbuktu and Gao into centers of learning. Timbuktu's libraries held thousands of manuscripts on science, philosophy, and astronomy, proof that Africa was a beacon of knowledge long before the European Renaissance. Christianity, too, took deep roots in Africa, from Egypt's Coptic churches to Ethiopia, where Emperor Ezana made it a state religion as early as the 4th century. The rock-hewn churches of Lalibela still stand today as a testament to African faith and craftsmanship. Culture blossomed, from the music of the griots of Mali to the art of Benin's bronze sculptures. Africa's heritage was alive, vibrant, and deeply interconnected. Then came a new chapter, one that would change Africa forever. In the 15th century, European explorers arrived on African shores. They came first for trade, seeking gold, spices, and ivory. But soon, trade turned into something darker, the transatlantic slave trade. Millions of Africans were captured, sold, and transported across the ocean to the Americas. Families were torn apart, kingdoms destabilized, and entire regions depopulated. This brutal trade lasted over 400 years, reshaping Africa's history and leaving deep scars that still linger today. Yet even amid suffering, Africans resisted. From the Maroons in the Caribbean to warriors like Queen Zinga of Ndongo and Matamba, who fought Portuguese colonizers, the spirit of freedom never died. By the late 19th century, European powers scrambled to seize Africa's lands in what became known as the Berlin Conference of 1884–85. Without a single African voice present, the continent was divided like a cake, drawn on maps with straight lines that ignored tribes, cultures, and languages. France, Britain, Belgium, Portugal, and Germany carved out territories for themselves. Colonial rule brought railways, schools, and cities, but also exploitation, forced labor, and violence. Africans were treated as subjects, not citizens, in their own land. But resistance grew. Heroes like Samori Toure in West Africa, Menelik II in Ethiopia, and Shaka Zulu in the south rose to defend their people. Ethiopia became a beacon of hope when it defeated Italy at the Battle of Adwa in 1896, proving Africa could stand against imperialism. By the mid-20th century, winds of change swept across Africa. World War II weakened colonial powers, and African leaders began to demand independence. In Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah led the charge, declaring freedom in 1957. His words echoed across the continent, The independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked with the total liberation of Africa. Soon, nations like Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, and Tanzania followed. Freedom movements spread, led by visionaries like Jomo Kenyatta, Patrice Lumumba, Julius Nyerere, Haile Selassie, and Nelson Mandela. But freedom came with challenges: ethnic divisions, poverty, and political instability, many rooted in the colonial legacy. Still, Africa moved forward, slowly, painfully, but proudly. Today, Africa is a continent of renewal and potential. With 1.4 billion people, over 50 nations, and the world's youngest population, it stands on the brink of transformation. Cities like Lagos, Nairobi, and Johannesburg buzz with innovation. African technology, music, and fashion are inspiring the world. Afrobeats artists fill global stages, African startups raise millions, and African scientists push the boundaries of medicine and space research. Yet, Africa still faces hurdles: corruption, inequality, and climate change. But its spirit remains unbroken. The same spirit that built pyramids, forged empires, survived slavery, and overcame colonization, still beats in the heart of every African today. Africa's story is not just a tale of the past, it's the story of humanity itself. From ancient civilizations to modern dreams, Africa has always been, and will always be, the cradle of life, wisdom, and resilience. The journey continues. Africa evolves, and so does the world with her. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share this video to keep African history alive. Tell us in the comments, which African civilization inspires you the most? Together, let's celebrate the heartbeat of humanity, Africa.